Hey everyone, Graham from Loudwire here, and it's Wikipedia Fact or Fiction time with the WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre. Oh, there it is. Yes.
There it is.
How you
Nameplates
doing,
and
man?
all.
Oh, look at that
And
thing, customized.
thank you for having me on. I'm very excited, very nervous. Wikipedia seems to change all the time. I do a lot of these interviews. They hit me with some facts about me, and I tell them, I see you've been reading Wikipedia. That's not correct. So let me hear what I've got today.
First off, we check everybody's names to make sure it's correct. So, Andrew McLean Galloway the fourth.
That is correct.
The fourth
I
is
am the
correct.
fourth.
Born in Ayr, Scotland.
Air Scotland, but
Ayr,
hopefully it's AYR. Is it written correctly?
AYR, yeah.
Spelled correctly? Okay.
Wikipedia does not give me pronunciation, so that's my fault. So, this is a good one to start off with. It says that when you were 10 years old, you read a magazine called X Factor, which focused on conspiracy theories and ghost stories. And this prompted you to write a letter to the FBI, to which the FBI actually responded by sending you a file with several documents.
That is true.
That's true. Please tell me about
I mean, I might have been 11. Like I was 10 or 11, my final year of primary school in the UK, in Scotland. You go to primary school from age 5 to age 11 before secondary school from age 11 to age 18. So it was prior to going to secondary school. So age 10, 11, I had my subscription to X Factor magazine. It covered UFOs, conspiracy theories, a wide variety of things, dangerous bugs, dangerous diseases. I learned about Ebola when I was 10, 11 years old before, it kind of popped up over the past few years. And it just so happened in one of the issues that had a sample letter to the FBI if you wanted to request documents under the Freedom of Information Act. I did. It informed me that you didn't have to necessarily be from America. So I filled in the form, put in a few documents I would like, mostly revolving around UFOs. Sent it away to America, used my pocket money to get that American postage from the UK. And sure enough, a few weeks later, I came home from school. My dad was waiting for me in front of the television. I remember sitting on the couch. I was like, Dad, this is unusual. Why are you home? Did something happen? Yes, son, your mom called me. I had to come home. I have to ask, why are the FBI? And I always remember this part. Why are the FBI in America sending you all these documents, this huge dossier in his lap, about 5 inches thick? I said, oh, Dad, I asked for those documents. Drew, why are the FBI in America sending you documents? Dad, it's okay. It's under the Freedom of Information Act. It's perfectly legal. I requested the documents. They sent them over just like I asked. Drew, it's like you're 10, 11 years old. Go outside, just play football like everybody else. Stop being so freaking weird. So yes, that story is very true.
Wow. So did you go through them pretty much in detail?
I went through them cover to cover, and they blacked out all the good stuff. So
Of course.
my goal, once I realized that conspiracy theories are, certainly true, there's smoke, there's fire. But realistically, if you find out too much, you're probably going to disappear. So start focusing on that wrestling thing. I'm now WWE champion. So if anyone out there wants to hang out with the WWE champion that knows all the secrets, hey, that was part of my mission. Become the top wrestler in the world. Get all the inside secrets I wanted when I was 11 years old. Master plan coming to fruition.
It says on Wikipedia that you began training to become a professional wrestler at age 15, and your parents agreed to support you as long as you gave the same amount of focus to your studies.
That is also true. Somebody must have edited Wikipedia. It used to say that my family and I moved to England in order to pursue my career in wrestling. It was there for years. I was asked about it in countless interviews, and I had to, correct the interviewer. Like, you obviously read Wikipedia, so thank you, whoever edited that to the facts. I started at 15. I used to travel 12 hours from Ayr, Scotland to Portsmouth, England. It's basically as far down in England you can go without falling off the side. It was a 24-hour round trip, 12 hours there, 12 hours back as a 15-year-old just to go to a wrestling lesson. So I was pretty dedicated, and as long as I stuck in at school, my parents supported me the whole way. I got my degree in criminology inevitably at university, and I got signed in WWE the same year at 21 years old.
Were you able to balance your studies with your passion at the same time pretty well?
I mean, I did it, but no, I was so obsessed with wrestling that it distracted me a lot. But I did, put the required effort in. I know how important education was to me and my family. So I did stick in, but the second I could, any free time I had was solely dedicated to achieving my dream. How am I going to get from this country of 5 million people where nobody has ever made it to WWE, that huge global company in America? And it was just spent day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, focusing on how I was going to make that dream come true. But thankfully, I still got the education.
It says that your first character in pro wrestling was the Drew Galloway, and it described you as a cocky narcissist.
Yes. Yep. My first character debuted on a show when I was 16 years old. I used to wear these tight, kind of like 3MB style pants, like tight leather 1980s rocker pants. Yeah, bright blue. I wore almost like a Jeff Hardy fishnet top because I thought that's what you have to do. You got to be like the Hardy Boys. They're cool. That's what I was into at the time. So, yep. I came out as the Drew Galloway. I had a manager who had a briefcase filled with my hairspray and brushes and combs and hair products. So random points of the match, I would have to stop and get my hair fixed. And if you knew me at that point in real life, I had a big growth spurt. I was really tall, not built at all, super shy in real life. But when I played that character, the Drew Galloway, the bad guy, the narcissist, the playboy, I really came out my shell. Bringing back memories here. I remember having a show close to my hometown. Like, people in school didn't know I wrestled. And then I was having a wrestling show and a few just happened to show up at the show. And sure enough, I walked out in that outfit playing that character. And there were some people that I went to school with who were very shocked to find out what Drew at 16 did in his spare time.
Were there any rock stars that you took inspiration from?
I mean, I guess like it's so many rock stars that I kind of looked up to. When I was a kid, I was like the biggest Axl Rose fan.
Sure.
You know, when I'm talking about wearing ridiculous outfits to wrestle in at such a young age, I went to my Halloween party. And when I was 14, I actually got asked to leave because I was wearing the Axl tiny biker shorts that Shawn Michaels once wore to referee a match back in the day in WWE. I had just the, what do you call it, the waistcoat on. The art teacher painted the tattoos. The tattoos were so good, so perfect. Like the actual art teacher painted them on my arms. I had the bandana. I didn't have long hair at the time. I had the wig on. And I walked in there, no knee pads, no boots. Obviously, I'm dressed as Axl, just a pair of shoes, basically naked. And they sent my ass right back out. So, yes, I think wrestling certainly gave me the confidence to go show up to school dressed like that. So Axl gave me the confidence.
It says that you made your official WWE debut in 2007 on SmackDown, but then you were moved back to the developmental territory FCW at the time.
Yes,
that
was correct. Yeah, I arrived in America in November 2007. I was on television 3 weeks later, which was highly unusual. I did not know what I needed to know to be on television with WWE at the time. So it was a bit of a whirlwind coming to America and being on SmackDown at such a young age. I remember the biggest thing of all was after I was on SmackDown, worldwide TV, I couldn't quite comprehend what had happened and how big this was, but I got on my MySpace right after it, and I went, wow, I've got a lot of friend requests for some reason. I was sitting there accepting them all, forgetting the fact that I was on WWE television. So that period of my life was a bit of a whirlwind and trying to get used to the fact that, you know, you're living this dream, you're WWE, and it is a really big thing. So maybe don't accept every friend request on MySpace.
I imagine that when you're young, you're excited, you want to be on TV. When you went back to FCW and started really developing those skills that you need to be a top shelf pro wrestler, were you thankful for the opportunity going, oh man, you know, maybe I wasn't ready at this time when I had that initial opportunity on SmackDown?
I know I wasn't ready. And I remember being in the ring and the referee telling me to work the hard camera, which is the main stationary camera, this one right here that I'm looking down. Right. Everyone at home sees you on. And I turned to him and said, what's a hard camera? So I knew myself I had to go learn about how to, you know, the ways of WWE, let's say, and how to work those cameras and work that style. And FCW was the best place in the world. It was like going to college, except way more fun than my actual college. In Scotland, I had Dr. Tom Pritchard, Steve Kerr, Billy Kidman, Norman Smiley, really helping find myself in the ring. And for my interviews, which I wasn't the most comfortable talker in the world, I had Dusty Rhodes, one of the best of all time at talking, really helping me get there and be comfortable on that microphone. So it was the coolest experience ever, and it really prepared me to return to WWE television.
For 3MB, part of the gimmick was that you all played the same instrument, and that was the drums.
I don't know if it was the drums. If you look at all the 3MB footage, we're all playing the guitar.
That's what I remember, yeah.
If you look at the hand positioning, though, like I played guitar when I was like 10, 11 years old. I went to guitar lessons. I've got my guitar sitting in the closet. I need to break it out. Like everyone that plays guitar out there knows if you don't use it, you lose it. You got to stay in practice. But yeah, if you look at my hand positioning, when I'm playing that air guitar, it's a little bit different than old Heath and Jinder. I think my hands are where they're supposed to be.
One thing I remember about 3MB was I think it may have been the first vignette that you guys did where you just kind of crashed a bar and just started, you got on like on a karaoke stage or something like that. Was that just a real bar that you guys crashed and started performing for people randomly?
Yeah, and the owner knew, but not, I don't know how many people actually knew. And they made the mistake. Again, I'm a different person now. We're all different people in 3MP than we were in our 20s at that point. The guy gave us a free bar. It was about 3 hours until we were on stage.
Okay.
So we might have been, a little bit not quite conditioned to perform. It's not that we were embarrassing or anything, but we got that confidence, that Dutch courage to go up there, try and surprise the audience. They were surprised. I don't know if it was necessarily a good thing how they were surprised, and then we got kicked out of the bar for real. So,
for real, wow.
it's fun to look back at those times and realize how much you've grown as a person.
It says on Wikipedia that you're not only the first British-born WWE champion, but the first British-born Royal Rumble winner in WWE history.
That's crazy, but it's true.
It's
I
true.
didn't realize until after I won the Royal Rumble. I was speaking to the lads at BT Sport, which is our UK television partner. They got an interview with me and they informed me that you're the first Brit to ever win. And I guess I kind of knew, I just wasn't thinking about it. I was so focused on becoming the first ever British heavyweight champion ever that they told me, hey, you're the first ever guy from the UK that's ever won the Royal Rumble. And you can see my legit reaction in that moment. You can Google the interview where I realized, oh my God, I'm the first person from the UK to win the Royal Rumble. That's incredible. And to go on to WrestleMania and the main event, beat Brock Lesnar. I'm going to pull this up as many times as I possibly can. Become the first ever guy from the UK to become WWE champion. It's so surreal. And hopefully it shows everybody, from the UK, such a small country. If you work hard enough, believe in yourself, block out the negativity, you can do absolutely anything.
The storytelling of that Rumble was so good with Brock in the beginning, just eliminating person after person. The audience doesn't know exactly what they're watching. They're like, oh my God, how much longer can this go? And you come out and you boot him over the top rope and the crowd goes insane. And for, I think, a couple of minutes, you're just staring down at him, enjoying the fruits of your labor. Can you tell me about that moment?
Mental. I remember watching the Rumble, waiting to come out, and Brock just decimating everybody, throwing everybody out. Like you say, that story being told. And I remember before I walked out, it's like that scene in Star is Born. We're talking about, kind of rock stuff. I think I went from the lead character that Bradley Cooper plays in my 20s to having the moment Lady Gaga had at the side of the stage where she was about to walk on stage. It was now or never to really make her name for herself. I've always been told, you're the future, the future, the future. I was like, my goodness, I'm getting older. I'm going to be the past one day and I'll never get the present. And I was just stood there backstage. I had that same look in my face she had. And I was like, now's the time. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to become the president right now. I'm going to knock Brock in his ass. I went out there, sure enough, did it. And then as I was looking down at him, like, no one told me to do that. That wasn't like, hey, Drew, you're going to stand there and Brock's going to stay there for 5 minutes. It was just how I felt in the moment. The unbelievable reaction of 40,000 people all screaming after they wanted Brock eliminated so much. And I was the one that did it. It really made me on that night. And that feeling staring him down was, if you could read my mind, Brock, I dare you to get up. I dare you to get in this ring. I'll knock you in your ass again. And that's legit what was going through my head at the time. Whether it's true or not, but that's legit what was going through my head at the time.
Oh, that was such a great moment. And thank you so much for your time today. It looks like Wikipedia was completely correct. This is an abnormality in my world.
First, this might be like an absolute first. I'm going to send them a message and thank them for finally getting it right. All it took was winning the Royal Rumble, becoming WWE champion, and they finally got it right. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Finally get that respect. And everybody make sure that you tune into SummerSlam August 23rd, where this man is defending his WWE Championship against Randy Orton. It's going to be a great match only on the WWE Network. Thank you so much, Drew McIntyre. Appreciate your time very much.
Thank you, buddy, for having me. It was a lot of fun and shocking. Wikipedia was right. My God.